future here?
Good morning. I can speak for Dave Holloway and Robin Holloway, and I know that it has impacted them tremendously. Of course, they're feeling the pain that the family in Peru is feeling. They know what it is. They've been there. They're still there. And as a matter of fact, they're still there in a different way, in a more painful way, if one could say that, because their case has no closure. And they are hoping that something might compel the fact that Joran is confronted with the evidence. There is a body, there is a crime scene, which was not the case here in Aruba. That something might compel him to at least shed a light on what happened to Natalie. If you allow me, I want to reiterate what Tim Miller just said about the eyewitness. Familiar with that? As Tim said, completely true. He spoke to me about that eyewitness, but there is one difference. That eyewitness came back. The authorities would, in first instance, not listen to him. But I myself made an appointment with the chief prosecutor, and I took this eyewitness to the chief prosecutor, and I was there when they took his statement, because the eyewitness, one way or the other, was scared. I don't know about what, and I promised him that that I would go with him if he would issue a statement, and he did.
So when was that statement given? How long ago?
That was around the time that he came back after the polygraph. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's about 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 or 3 years ago.
T.J. Ward, everything that's happening in Peru, do you expect that will impact the investigation into Natalie Holloway's disappearance? Will you guys, will Aruban authorities, anyone be able to get information out of Peru that could help find Natalie?
I think later on down the road, I think the Peruvian government may open up, or if Aruba takes the incentive to contact the Peruvian government and try to trade information and try to put pressure on Joran van der Sloot to bring closure to the family and tell them where this body may be or Natalie may be and what happened to her. We know that she's 4 or 5, different stories, and most recently trying to extort Beth Holloway is another story that apparently he's claiming he does know what happened to her and where she is, and he wants $250,000. Ironically, they've sustained charges here in the United States against Joran van der Sloot now. So hopefully down the road, I believe Peru's main focus right now is on Joran, is on their case, to get their case secured without beyond a reasonable doubt. He's already had some of the evidence that they have against him exposed to him, so he knew he was caught and did the wrong. I hope he does the right thing. I hope Aruba takes the incentive now to open this case back up. We know from the beginning of this case in Aruba that it was not handled properly. I'm a former investigator, and from the case that turned into focus to the security guards when they had 3 boys in a car that Natalie was last seen.
That she was in, and that car not seized for what, weeks?
6 weeks before that car was taken into custody. That is not a normal behavior of law enforcement to be able to aggressively handle a criminal case.
Now, there was something that came up in the Peruvian case. In this alleged confession, he talks about his computer, that she was going through his computer and found something. Do you think there could be anything on his computer that may help you guys in the investigation?
Well, I will tell you this, that they will take his computer into custody and they will do a forensic on his computer. If there's something there, we don't know exactly what happened. He's going back apparently to the scene of the crime and explain what happened with this young lady in Peru, whether it's going to be true or he's fabricating things or whatever. But his computer may be a part of this investigation and may lead us to a thing. One of the things I think it needs to be done, there's 3 agencies now that we know that are involved in this, the FBI, the Peruvian, and Aruba, that they need to follow his trail from the time he left Aruba, going to Colombia and so on and so forth, to see in fact if he's been involved in any other instances involving women where he was in Colombia that we know about, and the amount of money he's had and gone through, and his phone records, cameras. There's a lot of physical evidence that could be followed up with, and in the course of trying to find, and not only to prove the Peruvian case, but to help the Arubans get a handle on their case. But I hope that they take the incentive to go forth and so they can bring some closure to this family who's now suffered. Now we have another family that's now suffering.
Yeah, but we've got two right now, and two in counting.
Exactly.
Vinny D'Souza, I just have to ask you very quickly, what is next? I mean, Dave Holloway on his way to Aruba. What do you hope to accomplish?
Well, Dave is coming to Aruba. We just don't know exactly what date. But I want to say something about what T.J. Ward just said. The case of Natalie Holloway here in Aruba was never closed. It has never been closed. Simply the main suspect, because of that judges in the preliminary investigation did not see enough evidence to hold him any longer. Remember, our system, as I understood yesterday from listening to the lawyer, the defense attorney in Peru, is basically the same thing. We have a preliminary investigation. They gather all the evidence, and then when they have evidence, they will charge.
So Vinny, you're saying there still could be charges in Aruba?
Of course.
Okay.
The case was never closed.
Thank you so much. We're out of time. Thanks to T.J. Ward, Gene Casares, obviously Tim Miller, and Vinny D'Souza down in Aruba. All right, we'll continue.